This year we actually got very good Halloween skins. This Margaret skin is one of the best skins in the game. Just the halo, just completely broken down, like demon halo on top of her. It's just pretty cool. Alright? Or him, if you want to call her Ludo. Because the official name is Ludocio, but I don't think I'll ever get used to that. Which is really cool stuff. Also, Gaffer's cosmetics really good. I would love for them to release more though, because there is one character you might recognize and you might remember lacking a specific number of weapons, and he could really use a fifth one. He could really use a fifth one. Please. There is no character that deserves a Halloween cosmetic more than Assault Melee. Please. Please. I'm on my knees. I'll at Netmarble on Twitter and say, yo, I'll give you a hand job. Come on. There's no greater opportunity for me to offer such prestigious activities. Okay? In any case, Margaret's still thriving though. Like, of course, Margaret and Gaffer were great choices for it just because they're both meta, so they're actually relevant characters. Like last year when they released a bunch of cosmetics, but for the commandments, we're like, yeah, woohoo, we got a cosmetic for freaking. Actually, you know what? The commandments are not that bad, you know. It's much better than... Nice, we got a nice little bot. It's much better than when it's like the year prior, even, when it was like, oh, it's Slater and these like random characters. The commandments are actually quite decent. Like Fraudulent is... Did Fraudulent even get one? I think he did. You know what? I'm wrong. They always... Halloween cosmetics are actually mostly on point. I think Chandler could use one as well. I'm just picking good characters this way. I just want the good characters to get good skins, okay? Margaret just looks really good though. The cosmetic just looks really good. Listen, I'm already trying to skip bots, but honestly, this is not like a proper showcase. You know how good Margaret is. It's crazy because the team I'm using is like plaguing. And I mean plaguing. A double rank up Margaret and counter. Plaguing ungeared PvP, right? This is probably the most common used team in ungeared PvP. Just because the combo between Margaret and Chandler is just incredible. The only reason why it's not the most common in geared PvP is just because Bon is so powerful, right? Bon with crit chance on his attack gear and just you know UR gear for HP is just crazy, right? If not if not Margaret, probably, maybe would still be number one. Which is also crazy to think about, considering, you know, Gaffer just came out and he's literally a counter to her. Let's see those animations, huh? And we're gonna disable Margaret just so he doesn't actually ult me. Yeah, I'll be rocking this skin from now on. There's no reason not to. There's literally no reason not to. And this guy should have... He should have popped at least a blue card for him not to die to my level 3. Like that, it was very clear that I was about to double level 3, right? Like, come on, bro. Very clear. Would you consider Chandler's Red Demon as maybe Halloween themed? It is a costume, you know. It is a bit of a costume you could go around and ask Candy on. So maybe you could, in fact, consider that Halloween costume if you really want to stretch. Although I have no more points to go ahead with, so I'm just gonna end it here with my sentence. and end the match. He really thinks he's gonna tank my ultimate, doesn't he? I have level 3. Level 3. Even if I don't crit you with my triple crit chance, you best believe the level 3 buff will be enough for the kill. I wanted to include the ending just because I wanted to maybe take a screenshot for the thumbnail, so there you go. Shot Melee, would you look at that? Might have mentioned him earlier today. It's clearly a bot, but like I said, this is not a proper showcase. It's like, what else can I add to the conversation of how good is Margaret? Like, she's absurd. I mean, it's like, I think Margaret is the second only ever time they buffed the unit after release, like properly buffed the unit. I can say, oh, they buffed the unit by, I don't know, releasing UR gear for it when UR gear was like first coming out. If you're an OG player, you know what I'm talking about. When UR gear first came out, it was like characters wouldn't just get UR gear. They released them in waves, right? So like in that sense, like technically a character would get like a consequential buff of getting the UR. You know what I'm saying? Like they went ahead and literally like messed with the unit's core and made it better. The only ever time I recall them doing that was when Red Demon Meliodas first came out on JP. They realized he was so garbage, they buffed him. One interesting other time you might consider that was also, but that wasn't like after the unit came out. Green Demon Meliodas was such dog shit when he was first unveiled that before launch he got buffed. So, but that was like before he actually came out. Like after the info for him was released, they were like, oh my god, everyone was like, this unit is garbage. Don't release this unit. This unit is actually terrible. And they buffed his cards, the multipliers. And so those are the only times I ever recall them buffing units as well. They are very, I don't know if they have pride on their design, but they don't really mess with units that much. But I don't know what was the thing with Margaret that they were like, you know what? You guys are not summoning enough for her. Here, we're buffing her, okay? You happy now? We're buffing her, okay? I think it was just the lack of people summoning for her. Because, I mean, listen, Ludo Xiao is a pretty cool character. I'm not gonna disrespect him. But he's not gonna drive as many sales as Meliodas, for example, right? So they couldn't bank on the unit's sale performance being just how popular the character is. They had to bank on how good the unit is, and Margaret was kind of lame. Like she was decent. She was a good unit. She was like a bottom tier festival, and they buffed her so hard she became like arguably the best at the release. Then they released Kusak right after, which was so cringe. Because listen, right now Kusak is a good unit, all right. Afterwards, bro, I can't do these bots. After the fact, right, we can look back and say, okay, Kusak is good. Because now he is a unironically good unit on PvP. Because Ban is so prevalent. He's really good for geared PvP, right? But at launch, Kusak was a joke. Because everyone was using Margaret, and he could not compete. He just couldn't. Margaret teams are way too powerful. So that was a funny little stretch of time. Oh, that was a funny little stretch of time in history of Grand Cross. One, I couldn't really partake too much in videos, unfortunately, because I got sick at that time. Got very, very sick when Margaret came out. Couldn't pump as many videos as I wish I did. See, I'm not using that. I actually didn't want to use Deathpierce for this video as an experiment. And man, I just love Deathpierce. Hey, like, if I was using Deathpierce, all those hits would have crit. Okay, maybe not all of them, right? But a lot of them would have. It's just, playing with Deathpierce is just different. It just hits different. Because all of a sudden your character is just hitting so much harder. Also, I had a character that was garbage at launch. Because, because the meta wasn't critting when he first came out. It's crazy how many characters release being garbage and then become good. When Deathpierce came out, he was a joke because literally there was no... Oh, the bot making some rank up moves. There was no point in lowering the enemy's crew resistance because basically no unit in the game that was actually good really took any benefit on critting the enemy. Except maybe Green Bond. And now Green Bond was already not meta. Who was meta at the time? When I think the meta was Mono Red at the time? I don't remember. I'm actually pulling up Grand Cross database. They have all the releases for every character. Deathpierce came out. I'm looking. He came out. Oh, it was when Pierce came out. He came out right after Blue Demon Meliodas. Yeah, at the time, no one cared about critting. It's crazy because Blue Demon Meliodas actually could use some critting. Could he? At the time, I guess you could put him behind Blue Demon Meliodas, but really, who did we use with Blue Demon Meliodas? Like, who was in the back? I don't remember. Remember, the meta was Lilia, Blue Demon Melee, and either green or red Ascanor. When red Ascanor came out. And beforehand, I don't even remember. Some people use Hauser. I mean, I guess Deathpierce could have been good, but no one really used him. No one really thought of crit as a valuable PvP stat, really. And then Valenti came out, which would have fumbled Deathpierce, because I swear when you lower someone's Pierce, they can't crit. Swear. Voodoo counter. I'm out of PvP stamina, and I have no gems to refresh, so Margaret's good. I would say this cosmetic is 9 Chandlers out of 10.